Welcome to the Spiritist Companion Podcast. My name is Yuri Castro, and I'll be your companion on this journey where we study, reflect, and put Spiritist teachings into practice. And this is our first episode of the new year. And what better way to start 2026 if not with a reflection on a teaching contained in Spiritism. So my dear friends, today I want to reflect on a very special theme that I think deeply resonates with this time of year, the renewal of attitudes. The beginning of a new year, we know, often awakens in us desires for change, promises, resolutions, and lists of goals, and I think we've all been through that at one point. But in the light of Spiritism, we are invited to go beyond outward changes and ask, what needs to be renewed within me? Which attitudes no longer serve my spiritual progress? How can I transform intention into concrete action in 2026? So let us walk together through these reflections. First, I want to highlight that in the material world, renewal usually means something new on the outside. So when we say, I want to renew my clothes, or I want to renew the home, or start new projects, these usually refer to something external. However, Spiritism teaches us that the true renewal is inner renewal. In the Gospel According to Spiritism by Allan Kardec, he's going to tell us that the true Spiritist is recognized by their moral transformation and by the efforts they make to overcome their bad inclinations. In other words, spiritual renewal is not a single event, it is a continuous process. So it's not something that happens abruptly, simply when we go from December 31st to January 1st and something magical happens and we are renewed. Absolutely not. This renewal that I'm talking about is built day by day through small choices, new habits, and changes in our attitudes. Because a new year alone does not change anyone. But it can definitely mark a conscious decision to change. It can mark something on the calendar that we are propelled, we are prompted, we are pushed, perhaps, to make changes for the better. It's important to note that renewal is not denying our past. Renewing attitudes does not mean rejecting who we are, but learning from who we are. Spiritism invites us, my dear friends, to clarity, not paralyzing guilt. When we look back to 2025, maybe 2024, 2023, 2022, so forth and so on, and we are paralyzed by guilt because we never accomplished that project, we never made that change that we so desired. In the Spirit's book, question 919, Kardec is going to ask the spirits about the most effective, practical means for a person to improve in this life and resist the attraction of evil. The wise spirits will reply by saying, a wise man of antiquity told you, know thyself. There is no moral renewal without self-knowledge. So before changing or before attempting to change, we must stop and we must observe, where have I repeated the same mistakes? Which emotions easily dominate me? Is it the good ones or the bad ones? Which attitudes have harmed my peace and my relationships? Renewal begins when we stop deceiving ourselves, when we have the courage to look inward, to ask these questions and to change. The true New Year's project, therefore, is this inner reform, this inner transformation that we so often talk in Spiritism. Because in Spiritism, the great proposal for transformation is this inner reform. It's not something mystical or abstract. It's actually deeply practical. Inner reforms, for example, means replacing pride with humility as much as we can, exchanging impatience for understanding, even if it's just a little bit, abandoning criticism in order to practice charity, slowly but surely, replacing impulsive reactions with conscious responses. Because as the author Allan Kardec reminds us in the Gospel according to Spiritism, God asks of man only the effort that lies within his power. We're not asked to be, quote-unquote, perfect, to have angelical features. We are asked our sincere effort in improving, following the law of progress. Therefore, we will get there one day. But right now, we're far from there, and we are required this effort to change that is within our power. Renewing attitudes means choosing one area for improvement at a time with perseverance. It's also, my dear friends, important to remember that we are ancient spirits. It's a new year, yes, 2026, but the spirit is ancient and it's still learning. We carry tendencies, habits, and challenges built over many lifetimes, as we have already discussed in previous episodes of this podcast regarding reincarnation. And that is why oftentimes change is not easy, because we carry these things from other lives. But it is definitely possible. In another book by Allan Kardec, this one called Heaven and Hell, he's going to bring testimonies from spirits talking about how progress is inevitable, even if slow, even if it feels that we're not truly progressing that much. With each incarnation, we receive new opportunities for readjustment. The change of the year, meaning the new year, is not an absolute restart. It is another chapter in our evolutionary journey, and each chapter can be written better than the last. Thankfully, Spiritism shows us that a person can renew themselves every day if they so choose. True renewal does not happen only in January, my dear friends. It happens when we choose forgiveness instead of resentment, when we restrain a harsh word, when we choose goodness, even if no one is watching. To renew attitudes is to choose again every day, to have the courage to restart, to have the courage to continue. So let us now bring some practical examples of renewal in our daily lives. First, renewing the way we think. We can observe our quote-unquote automatic thoughts, these thoughts that come very automatic when we're not expecting, we're not even aware of them. Sometimes we can't control them. So let's observe our automatic thoughts. Do we expect the worst usually? Do we complain easily? Do we judge without understanding? Renewal begins by educating our own thoughts, because as we learn in the Spirit's book, thought is an essential attribute of the Spirit. To think better is to live better. Number 2, renewing our words. How much pain is caused by careless words? How much pain have we caused in years past because of our careless words? Jesus already warned us that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. We find this one in Luke chapter 6. So let's try to speak less and listen more in 2026. Avoid unnecessary complaints. Replace criticism with fraternal guidance. And that way we're going to be renewing our words. Number 3, perhaps renewing our relationships. So the new year is an excellent invitation to ask for forgiveness or to forgive, to rebuild bonds, to establish healthy boundaries, to leave behind relationships rooted in pride or emotional dependence that only harms both parties involved. According to Spiritism, the family is a sacred field of learning, as we already talked about in another episode on the family. Renewing attitudes at home, my dear friends, is one of the greatest challenges, but it's also one of the greatest blessings. Number 4, renewal in the face of difficulties. Often, I think we want to change everything except how we react to trials. But Allan Kardec, in the Gospel according to Spiritism, he's going to remind us of the words by our dear Master Jesus when he said, "Blessed are those who are afflicted." Pain, when well understood, becomes an instrument of growth. So renewing attitudes in this new year means changing the question from, "Why is this happening to me?" to, "What can I learn from this? How can I improve from this?" And number 5, practical spiritual renewal. Include in your routine simply and consistently a sincere daily prayer, an uplifting reading, a few minutes of inner silence perhaps, and a small act of charity. Remember, it's not about the quantity necessarily, but about the consistency of building these habits that will help with the renewal of our attitudes. My dear friends, remember, the right time is now. Many people say, "Oh, I'll change when things get better, when I have more time, or when I have more money, or when others change first." Spiritism invites us to take responsibility. The right time is now. Today is the day of change. Renewal does not depend on ideal conditions, but on an inner decision and a conscious decision to change and have the courage to stay the course. My dear friends, we know the new year does not ask for grand promises. It asks for renewed attitudes. A little more patience, a little more tolerance, a little more effort towards good. If we fall, let us rise. If we make mistakes, let us adjust. If we grow tired, let us rest, but never give up. So may this new cycle be less about changing the outer world and more about transforming the inner world. And we reached the end of our first episode of 2026. I'm deeply grateful and blessed to be here to reflect with you. And if this was helpful, please share it with someone else, follow our pages, subscribe to our channels. And I really hope that this new year will find you with the courage to change, with humility to learn, and faith to move forward. With fraternal love, your Spiritist companion.